Welcome to the Keynote Podcast. I'm your girl Key, the social media ghost, here with our keynote speaker, the father of influencers, the heartbeat of pop culture, Perez Hilton. How are you doing today?
You know, I really am the original influencer, but thankfully, even though I feel like a dinosaur, I'm not extinct yet.
Yes. So, you're the father of influencers and of pop culture, and you're also the father of three beautiful kids. So, how has being a parent changed your outlook on life?
Oh God, how has it changed my outlook on life? It's opened my mind and my heart to new opportunities, to experiences, both good and bad. I don't think I had anxiety before I had children, but
Right.
now I have anxiety. Thankfully, I manage it pretty well. Sometimes you have really awful flare ups, but my kids are the best thing that's ever happened to my life. And what's so surprising is I'm raising my three children and they're all so different. Each one is their own individual. And I
Exactly.
view parenting as, helping them be the best version of themselves without placing any of my wants for their future. Well, with one exception.
Yeah.
And that is, I've conditioned and trained and told my kids since as early as they could remember that I will love them and support them no matter what, dot, 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 unless they're lazy. I will not
Okay.
tolerate laziness. They
Mhm.
need to work for it, whatever that it may be. And obviously, I have probably an unhealthy work ethic. I work way too hard still, all these years later. I don't
Yeah.
expect my children to work as hard as I do, but I do expect them to create their own opportunities, not even ask me for money to bankroll any ideas because that's not going to happen. They need to make things happen for themselves and work hard at it. And I think you could start teaching them, the importance of an incredible work ethic from very
Mhm.
young and also teach them the importance of making mistakes at a young age as well. I think there are a lot of helicopter parents out there,
Yeah.
and I'm not one of those. I believe, like even yesterday, I took my kids to this place here in Las Vegas that is like
Mhm.
an arcade that only has those claw machines. And
I love those.
they had been bugging me to go for a while because they heard a fellow kid, a friend of theirs, talk about it. And I didn't think anything of it, but my mom is in Miami right now and she gave my kids $10 each to do with it whatever they want. So I
Mhm.
said, all right, we'll go to the place that has the claw machines, but you guys need to take your own money. So I thought that was a
Yes.
valuable lesson for them to decide how much, if any, they wanted to play there. And my son actually had saved all of his birthday money from February. And he just poured so much cash into that place. And I was thinking to myself, this is like conditioning children to be gamblers in the future.
Right.
I did not like it. I don't think I'm going to be sending my kids there regularly,
Right.
but you know, it was his money and he was able to do with it whatever he wanted.
Exactly. There's no small loans of $1 million in the Perez Hilton family to start a business
No.
at all. No. All right. So, do you ever feel like has your brand changed with the times, especially with all the competition, and that many people use YouTube to do exactly what you've been doing?
Yeah, my brand has definitely changed as I have changed because,
Right.
you know, I think change is important. There are some
Yeah.
brands that don't evolve, but if you look at the brands that last, like a McDonald's, they're constantly
Yeah.
changing. You know, for the good and sometimes not for the good. Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, I've changed how I do things. I've changed the things that I do as well. You know, the tone of my website and is definitely very different than it was early on. I learned from
Yeah.
my mistakes. Um, and also, you know, it's not just my website anymore. It's my website and my podcast and my Patreon and all of my social media. I do it all everywhere.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, last question. Do you ever feel partially responsible for help birthing Baddies on Zeus and all the chaos that ensues on there since you were front and center for Bad Girls Club? And would you host a Baddies reunion at all?
Um, you know, I'm not a fan of Natalie Nunn, but I got to give her credit.
Yeah.
She hustled this into existence.
Hmm.
And, you know, would I host it if the price was right? I don't
Right.
know. I don't know how much Zeus is paying. I don't know how many people are actually watching.
Yeah,
But enough people are watching that they're still producing content. So I'm
exactly.
genuinely happy for them. Congratulations.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get you to host there and add some structure to what she has going on because I've seen it and it's a lot going on to be honest.
Is she hosting the reunions?
No, she gets like different people from like Love and Hip Hop to host, and they don't even ask questions. It's a lot of just fighting, straight to fighting. I always wonder, so what's going on after? But those questions never really get answered. So it's just, yeah, it's just for the views, I guess.
Well, she knows, you know, I don't like her, but I'll take her money. So she knows how to
Right.
reach me.
Yes, clock that. So thank you so much, Perez, for taking the time out. And don't forget, you guys, to follow Perez on everything he got going on, especially Patreon. You got to get those coins on Patreon. So I would appreciate everybody going to
Yes,
follow him.
it's patreon.com/Perez Hilton. I'm
Yes.
creating a lot of bonus content there with my co host on the podcast, and people are loving it. So thank you.
All right. And I'm going to make sure I check it out too. I'm going to give you my shekels to, so you know that I'm here to support.
Thank
And
you.
and be sure to follow the Keynote podcast on Instagram and watch everything for more interviews like this.